Hey everyone, I'm Nathan, and today we're going to be drawing every Drawfee dwarf. If you're new to the show, this is the series where I find all of the characters designed by Drawfee in a specific category, and then try to put them in a scene that makes sense. Stay tuned for headcanons and to hear about my process a little bit. But without further ado, let's get into the speed draw. My concept for this was Dwarf Family Breakfast, because there actually aren't that many D&D dwarves depicted by the Drawfee gang. And the star of the evening is Grendan Highforge, aka Gma, aka Grandma. I will probably use all of those interchangeably, but this is basically Nathan Yaffe's character in Drawtectives. He was one of my favorites, love the little guy. And also, I want to say this was a really quick, fast one, because I had to rush out this drawing, y'all. I had to do it in a single day. I literally just finished, and I'm recording right off the bat. Haven't even made a script, barely have an outline, but we're gonna wing it. I have a huge video that I'm working on at the moment, and I'll give you a little hint. It has to do with video games. And that's all I'm gonna say, that's your little hint. But so much attention is going towards that video that I was like, oh my gosh, I need a Wednesday upload. And we're starting with Grendan's dad. So Grendan's dad is based off this character who I found this image, which I assume is from a Beans. I can't be 100% sure, and I also don't know who drew it, but I was like, this was the oldest patriarchal dwarf that I saw out of all the ones that I compiled. So I was like, you get the position of dad. We know that Grendan's background is that they're from a very rich weapon supplier, so I updated this character and made it more modern, so it kind of fit the Drawtectives world a little bit. And yeah, he's a weapons mogul, like a CEO type. I don't think he actually makes the weapons. Maybe his family used to, going back the generations, but today he's more of just, you know, the corporate overlord. He's definitely pretty well off. Next we have Joey, who is from the Turning Animals into Humans video, and they were never actually specified as a dwarf. All we know is that they're non-binary and in high school, but when I was searching for Drawfee dwarves, they came up in the search results, so thank Google for me including them here. But I felt like they were perfect for this image because we know that Grendan's mom has 3 kids, and so I was like, okay, I need 2 designs, preferably from a Drawfee crew, to fit the bill of siblings, and this was the first one. I like to think that this is the middle child, and Grendan is the youngest, and then there's an oldest sibling as well. They're just giving real cool kid energy, and they're having this conversation with their dad, because another character is causing a little bit of heat in the kitchen, so they say. There's a little bit of drama, a little bit of tea being spilled, a little bit of an introduction, but we'll get there soon. I'll go ahead and say the next sibling is Gubadub. I'm pretty sure Gubadub is a pretty popular Drawfee character because in a lot of ways, he's the proto-Grendan. So he was designed in a challenge where Julia, Jacob, and Nathan Yaffee were trying to design D&D characters. And Nathan was like, I'll make a dwarf druid. And that's the same combination of class and character race that he played in Drawtectives. So Gubadub takes the role of older brother. He's out of the bog. We cleaned him up a little bit. I put him in a sweater vest because I felt like it kind of matched the silhouette of his original costume, and I kept his ukulele because he still plays instrument. But I like to think that he's the oldest sibling and is very similar to Grendan in a lot of ways. So I'll just say that when my older brother Ben did anything, I wanted to be just like him. I was like, oh my gosh, Ben is doing theater. I want to do theater. Oh my gosh, Ben is playing piano. I want to play piano. And I can't play in pianos and I don't do theater anymore. Obviously, I became an artist. But everyone at college thought I was a theater major, and I proved them all wrong. I was just very gay. Anyway, I like to think that the same is true with Grendan, that they look up to their oldest sibling as like, oh my gosh, you're like this cool druid with a long beard and hippie to be kind of a good for nothing. And so Grendan kind of inherited a lot of those traits. Next, we have the guest at the table. So everyone here at the Dwarf Family Breakfast is part of a big happy family, except for this character, who is Highforge Ghostforge, which was drawn by Karina, and is technically doesn't fit the normal criteria. Normally, I don't include fan art of pre-existing IP in these videos, but he was really hot, so I was like, I'm gonna include him because in my headcanon, Highforge is Joey's freaking boyfriend. So Highforge likes Joey, and he's really hot and cool, and he's a necromancer and can summon ghosts and stuff like that. This makes Mr. Highforge super anxious. He's like, what? My little child with a boyfriend? What? You know, that kind of trope of overprotecting father. But I think he's like trying to play it cool. Like he's like, no, I'm just pissed off because of the news that I'm reading in the newspaper, of course. So those are the vibes that we're working with. And then next we have the matriarch of the family, Janice. So I kind of lied earlier. We actually don't know anything really about Grendan's mom, but we have this character, Janice, who was designed by Jacob in a video, who is like a Karen. Like she's a total, I want to see your manager, I'm very problematic, kind of a middle-class woman. And I was like, oh, there she is. This is Grendan's mom. And so we know that she has 3 children named Kyler, Skylar, and Tyler. And I was like, oh my gosh, that'd be so funny if that was all of these 3 dwarves' middle names. And I would like to imagine that Grendan would be like Grendan Skylar, because, you know, it's just really cool. As always, these are just headcanons. I have no say over actual canon, but that's my headcanon for what's going on here. And Janice is pissed. She's really angry, up in arms, and enraged because she's on the move for deals. She is trying to get to the grocery store early. She is trying to make a major coupon haul. She is trying to do a lot of swindling today. And Grendan is running late for school, so she's like, hurry up, get in the car, we have to go. I do not care if you're not done with breakfast. You should have woken up earlier. And I just love the face that I drew for this and all of the details. Oh my goodness, super in love with how Janice turned out. And my inspiration for the one, the only, Grendan Highforge. I love Grandma so much. And my inspiration for this was very Usagi, very Chibi Usa, but also very much this image drawn by Karina, which is kind of what led me to the Sailor Moon comparisons. I love a lazy, sleepy, gets straight F's in school, mess up kind of a kid. I'm just a big fan of it. So I just drew Grendan being like a big baby and being like, I'm hurrying, I'm trying to get to school, Mom. Please don't yell at me, I'm sensitive. That's not a very good grandma impression, but I imagine that when they were in middle school, they were like just the biggest little baby. This might be high school Grendan, I don't know. They're just so cute and small and chibi. I was having a moment. I actually really enjoyed how it turned out. It's not as clean or as refined as most of my work, but like I said, I was under a time limit, y'all. I was like, I have to maintain my schedule, self-discipline. We gotta get this up on Wednesday no matter how late it comes out. So I am proud of myself for pushing through the rut, getting my work done. Yeah, and I also ate today, so I didn't sacrifice my personal well-being, so major growth points for me. For the background, so we know that they're upper class, and I like to think that Mr. Highforge is very well off and very wealthy, but I wanted them to be at this middle class apartment. You know, maybe the city is still really expensive, so even if you're upper class, but you're living in, you know, like a New York or a Los Angeles situation, like to anyone else in middle America, they're like, wow, you make a lot of money, but they're like, have you seen my rent? Have you seen the prices? So yeah, and I also just thought it was cute, them being around this little middle class, like you walk in and there it is, like the kitchen and everything kind of all cobbled together up front. It was just very cozy, and I was looking for cozy vibes. You might be able to tell that the colors are very Steven Universe. I was really channeling that energy going into this. Steven Universe is my favorite animated show of all times. Yes, it is the best. Come at me, bro. I will fight you in the comments. And I just love those backgrounds so much. So I was trying to channel a little bit of it here without, you know, driving myself insane, but I think it worked out pretty well. And with that being said, this is the finished video. Wow, we did it. Short and sweet. I'm so proud of us for being here. Which was your favorite of the Highforge siblings? What are your headcanons on what foul language spews out of Janice's mouth as she tells her kids to hurry up? Let me know in the comments down below, along with any of your headcanons. And if you really like this video, like, subscribe. And if you want to actually support me so I can keep making videos like this, please check me out on Patreon, where for just $4 a month, you can have your name in the end credits. And that concludes our video. So speaking of end credits, here they are now. Special thanks to Blurryface EXE, Blue Uwu, Christopher, MOE, Game of Catan on IG, Gay Jairus, Melon, Pinecone, Prance, SL Blue, Smalls the Sax Jammer, Thumper Daytime, Tarthalinor, Tuesdays Anyways, and Tuppets Pies. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Nathan. Post every Wednesday and Saturday, and I'll see you soon. Bye!